Welcome to the studio. Besides YouTube, we actually run a commercial space. We're doing all sorts of different things. Besides recording bands and doing all the fun stuff, there's a lot of utility things that we have to take care of behind the scenes, and one of those is reamping. Reamping can serve a whole lot of different purposes in recording guitars, bass, pedal steel, organ, and this was one of my first boxes. The DIY RE line to amp. Great little box. You can get it off of DIYRE.com pretty cheap if you want to start your reamping process. I've upgraded to something a little different. So this is a pretty cool thing, but it only had one channel, no effects loop, nothing like that. So I felt it was time to upgrade. The radial reamp box to the rescue. So reamping is probably one of the most mundane things you'll do in the studio, but it makes the biggest difference. Sometimes the guitar tones aren't perfect, and when you massage the rest of the mix down, you need something else. Maybe it's like, oh, I wish there was a little more pick attack on the guitar, or that just doesn't complement what the bass is doing, and things kind of adapt and change. So I build into my workflow a couple safeguards to help me keep going. So this is a session from an artist called Macy Ann. This is not mixed yet. There are some things that I kind of want to change about the guitar tone and I'm a little curious about. So we're going to go kind of down experimentation lane here. Now, the reason you need to set up a reamp box of some kind, whether it's something you make yourself or this one in particular, is impedance. You can go from sounding thin and weird to now it sounds right. It sounds like it should because you're reamping it. What's happening is guitar amps and effects expect to see a high impedance signal, and your DAW or your interface is outputting a low impedance signal. So to get all those things working the right way, you need some kind of reamp box, and some are more flashy than others. You may not need this box, but you may need some kind of reamp box. Here on the DAW, you can kind of see I got a couple things already set up. I have our original 2 tracks here. The rhythm left and rhythm another left print because I duplicated and didn't rename properly. Don't be like me. The bane of just trying to get stuff done fast in a session. So I have a quad track here. I have a whole video on this if you want to see kind of how I track guitars like this, but the reason I'm using a quad track, I have 4 different lanes I can put things on, and you can think of the first 2 being the first 2 tracks, a left, a right, or both for a mono guitar. The other 2 tracks left over are for an amp DI. The other thing is the guitar DI before anything. So if I want to reamp something, I can. So the way I do that, you can literally split this quad track into mono, and you end up with just the guitar print. The other side, which was the right side, where there was nothing. This is the guitar DI. And this is the amp DI. This sounds disgusting. Just having all of these things in case I ever want them. So this is our guitar DI from this track. That allows me to send it out of the DAW into the radial reamp via the back. And then I have an output here, and you'll see there's a couple more outputs because this is more flexible than just doing guitars if you want to do that. That is then going into a Dr. Z prescription extra strength. So the hope with reamping something like this is getting a characteristic out of the part that I don't already have. And in this case, it's a little top end presence. So all I'm going to do is arm this track. That is the mic'd cab in there. Again, the DI is being sent to the box sent to the amp. That's sending it to the cab. It's coming back into Pro Tools, and I'm going to print that. We're just going to listen to this because latency gets weird at this point. So now actually adds a whole lot of body to the thing. That is not the only thing this box can do. Anybody else have that box of stuff that you don't want to look at, but you always got to know where it is? This is that box for me. Don't look at it. So we've got inserts on the front of this box. So what we're going to do, send into the input of this guy, which I don't know that they make this version of this pedal anymore. It is a weird box. It is massive. It sounds great.
We tried to track it down on one of the episodes of Phantom Power Hour, and we could not find the same version.
Yeah, I don't even think on the used market I could find it. Now we have this pedal that we can dial in our effects loop if we want, and there's a button right here for that. So let's see what kind of tone shaping we can get into. It's actually pretty cool. So this is letting me add EQ and compression to this just to kind of get some of the low end out of the way, because the other one has plenty of that. I'm just trying to find something to fill the body that the other one doesn't have. That actually works really well. That's just one way to use this thing. Why don't I use it in a mixed context too? But for that, we're going to have to go to the other room. This is a good time to mention this is sponsored by Radial. They did send the box for me to check out. I have actually had this box for darn near close to a year, and I've used it a ton. It is one of those things you don't even think about because it kind of works itself into your workflow. As long as I've had this box, I have not noticed it in the chain, and that's exactly what I want out of a tool like this, not even realizing that it's there. So thank you, Radial, for sponsoring the video. Let's get back to it. So we're here in the other room, the mixed room, the good room, the room where I spend most of my time now. Which, by the way, question, if you don't have a sit-stand desk that's less than, or like right around 3 feet wide, they're really hard to find. They're mostly really big. I don't want that. I need tiny, but I want to stand and sit. Help. This is the context I like using this box. Yeah, you can use it with guitars. You can do multiple guitars at the same time using dual mono setups. This is where it gets really interesting. So we are using the other side of the freak port. The first side of this guy is controlling the master bus chain. All of this is in one line. It's on one side of the freak port. The other side of those stereo outputs are going to the reamp box. So I could go in and out here, not do anything. But this has an effects loop built in, which kind of being covered up by cables at this point, but you can engage it with the button down here. And there's a blend knob. We are all the way wet. So that means everything is being sent to the H90, which, if you know anything about the Eventide H90, this is a crazy powerful plugin. So as a first example, let's go over here. If you've never seen this before, this is my mix template, highly refined from Warren Davids. If you are so curious, go to shop.mix.engineer, I believe. If that's wrong, hopefully Josh will fix it on the screen. If you are curious about template that can get you stereo and Atmos at the same time, or you just kind of like the workflow here, go check that out. I will not take all the credit for this by any means.
Unfortunately, due to OBS issues, our audio capture is intact, but our screen recording is a still frame.
Here's what we've got. So we have a lead vocal. Using the freak port that is being fed in and out into that H90, and then over here I have my H90 control, so I can dial in the effects. And effectively, this is a guitar effect, but on a vocal, it sounds pretty cool. So I'm going to mute everything else that is not the H90. Close, you can hear them echo out. The H90 is such a clean box, and the Radial lets us get in and out so freaking easy. We can just do like anything. I mean, this pairing of things is crazy flexible. Hopefully I'm learning to live a better life. Better stop before the clock starts ticking down. the radial just gets out of the way. We're not even really talking about the box now because it's doing its job and it's getting out of the way. That's the mark of a good box. It's versatile and you don't have to think about it. And from here, we could, if we wanted to insert a tube screamer on the snare, we could, and it doesn't have to end there. Anything you can think of, it can be in the effects chain of this. You want to put a Vox box on anything? There you go. This is how you can do it. It's a way to get in and out of your DAW crazy easy. Reamp guitars, about as flexible as a box as one could hope for. Now I'm showing you using the Freak port. You don't have to do this. You can use this box in and out of whatever interface you have. This is what I have because of the way my system is set up. I don't have any other inputs or outputs to be able to do this. So Freakport is letting me do that, but it also kind of helps me show you guys what's going on. If you like this idea and you're into it, you can use this with anything you already have on your pedal board. This box allows you to kind of take the gear you already have and reimagine it and use it in different ways, not just for playing your guitar or recording it that way, but also in your DAW and actually twisting knobs. And if we're being honest as guitar players, come on, we love to do that. Go ahead and put down in the comments what weird guitar pedals you would love to see happen in your mix. And if you want to see how we record guitars with that quad track, go click this video down there. Bye.